You have stumbled upon an unusual signal, a transmission so different that it might have you questioning everything you think you know about the world around you. These frequencies are intermittent and unforgiving. They bring us the dark tales of folklore, the stories that some are simply too terrified to tell. This is Vast Unknown Radio, where what you're listening to may not be what you're hearing. The transmitter is powered up and the antenna is tuned and aligned. The amplifier is humming. Tonight, a tale from the magnificently beautiful continent of Africa. Our travels will take us to the region south of Victoria Falls. We will make our way through the densest of jungles and back to a time not so long ago. In one of his last articles before his passing in 1964, psychoanalyst Nandor Fodor recounted a tale which had been confided to him by Dr. Gerald Kirkland. Kirkland was the former government medical officer in southern Rhodesia. We would consider this modern-day Zimbabwe. The tale was one that fascinated Fodor, as his research into consciousness was well documented. The tale posed questions concerning animal evolution after death, and the greater implications of spiritual fauna and animal self-consciousness. So, you're asking yourself, what is this tale? Well, it's a tale of lycanthropy and real-life werewolves. Now, before we get started, I'd like to remind the listener that while I attempt to keep these transmissions as family and societally friendly as possible, sometimes the topics of esoterica play to the baser instincts of humanity. Kirkland's account of Fodor, while heavy on particulars, was vague concerning the actual location of the incident. Understanding that, the venue was likely southern Rhodesia, where Kirkland was stationed in 1933. No other details regarding the site still exist. Kirkland recounted that, quote, there are, in certain parts of Africa, animal dances. They are supposed to have deep and significant meanings. They are deadly secret. I have seen two, and to our civilized eyes, they are the most bestial, revolting, and disgusting things that anyone could imagine. Kirkland stated that the practicing of other dark arts was nothing in comparison to what he had observed. It was by his own words that he calls what he discovered as nothing short of lycanthropy. Now, he paused and was unwilling to swear that what he witnessed was any true physical manifestation or transformation. He warned, however, that, quote, the mimicry is so absolute that one has to take the greatest precautions not to be deceived. In his report, the practitioners and dancers are possessed to the point that differentiating them from beasts, specifically jackals, is near impossible. One evening, while hidden in a thicket, Kirkland observed the ritual and set the following to memory. The ceremony is said to begin with an abhorrent level of drunkenness, in which the revelers, both male and female, partake of rancid meat. Once worked into a frenzy, a tribal elder and seer of other worlds known as a Nganga stepped to the middle of the orgiastic human circle and began to writhe and shout. His voice was indistinguishable from the guttural growls of a jackal at rut. The encircling crowd was seen to be climbing over each other, while vigorously licking at each other and drooling like dogs. Yelps and calls echoed from the females in the crowd, and the Nganga dropped as if struck by a stone. He experienced a twisting and contorting of his naked limbs as if going through some type of seizure. Without warning, he went prone and motionless. As the Nganga lay still, animal cries emanated all around as if the beast were being massacred or possibly in heat. Then the Nganga stood, twisted, and jerked his body in a perverse pose and again fell to the ground. Blood and saliva spilled from his mouth. From somewhere in the night, the howls of jackals filled the air so completely that Kirkland examined every dark recess that he could find. He searched everywhere for the wild beasts. Then, from the woods, emerged a teenaged female accompanied by a grown man. They crawled over the writhing pile of bodies and into the center of the human circle. Kirkland reported that there they, quote, engaged in a display so ungodly that my eyes refused to see or my mind comprehend. As my reasoning cleared and my focus returned, I witnessed what had been a man and a girl, now two actual real jackals, physically embraced and engaging in the very same salacious act. Finally, the female jackal bit the male jackal on the neck, and then they bound off into the woods. The Nganga rose from the dirt, and while still covered in filth, appeared to be restored from his trance, and that was the end of things. The next day it was reported that the teenage girl from the ceremony was located in a nearby village. She was found to be in a state of complete exhaustion and complained of having been the victim of a brutal assault. Upon examination, the girl was found to have uncountable lacerations on every part of her body, including those in the most disturbing of places. At the conclusion of this recounting, Fodor was queried about whether or not he believed what he had just heard. Fodor posited that even though Kirkland was hidden in a thicket, the good doctor had been just as entranced by the unholy ceremony as its participants. It was Fodor's conclusion that the participants had desired so badly to transform into jackals that they managed to make their desire manifest in the collective consciousness with alarming realism. This was aided by the absolute societal dominion of the Nganga and the questionable substances consumed during the ceremony. Fodor was further dismissive of the alleged evidence surrounding the teenage girl. He stated that it was nothing more than what could be expected by a savage assault in a wooded cove. Nandor Fodor died on May 17, 1964. Outside of a few articles, all recounting essentially the same details, little evidence exists of the conversation between Fodor and Kirkland. Fodor's research spanned a variety of both hard science and esoteric topics. He is remembered as an influential contributor to both fields, and his ability to scrutinize even his own ideas gives true longevity to his writings. That concludes our transmission for this evening. Let us close with this reminder. A werewolf is always larger in the eyes of the frightened. Vast Unknown Radio is written, curated, and produced by me. My research assistant is Gypsy. On the soundboard, well, that's DJ Chainsaw Massacre. Special thanks to co.ag Music. Tune in next time for more tales of the esoteric and unusual. And maybe, just maybe, our signals will cross again. Thanks for listening. This has been Vast Unknown Radio.